We are taking you guys along into a little hike that we like to go on. We're going to a waterfall, but we thought we would take you along and show you some of the rituals that we do with our kids out in nature to refuel, to reconnect, and just to have like a very wholesome family day.
So stay tuned. You know, one of the beautiful, most powerful ways is to come back to nature. And when you're in nature, the silence speaks. And what we like to do is do a little digital detox and also physical. I'm on my third day of fasting today. That's something that we do more, you know, on an ongoing basis, but a long-term basis. But anyhow, we'll see you soon. What are you doing right now? Are you resting? Are you on a hike? No, you don't. Of course, I have to play a little I got you game before.
So for us, we don't go to church on Sundays, but instead, this is our church. This is our walking meditation. This is where we clear our minds. And it's so important to like get out of the routines and the same workflows that you have, because when you really need to feel connected and get that clarity, it's not working harder or looking at the project until it's done. It's going inward and going into nature and refueling that creative part of you. So if you're getting like, I don't know, like writer's block, or you're getting burnout or just not feeling creative, the best way to refuel is in nature.
Now, as we go through life, we keep on getting into the same habit. And if you think about our brain, it wires all of these neural pathways to a certain things that we get used to, certain rituals, you know, whatever it's coffee in the morning, whatever it's working out every day, or even bad rituals, right? And so what we're doing here in nature with the kiddos is we're disrupting all of that sameness. And we actually normally have no cell phones, no digital, at least once a week. There's no TV, and we write. Obviously we're filming, so we got to bring you with us somehow. Essentially, during this time, we do a series of things, whatever we've learned throughout the world. We don't wait for kids to grow up before they do meditation or breath work. We introduce them to everything as we're learning it, as they were, you know, adults learning with us, of course.
Well, like they're sponges, you know, so like whatever you teach them is the world that they grow up in, right? So whatever you teach them is normal, and how you take care of yourself is how they're going to grow up and take care of themselves and also the world. So you're not just raising like little children, you're raising, you know, the future and what the future Earth will look like.
We don't know exactly, you know, are we doing it right, wrong? But what we do know is we just follow the heart. We surrender when things don't go the best way. And to be honest, you know, we've been quite disharmonized this morning with our children. And so what we're being called to is we're going to find a little waterfall, and we're going to do a Lemurian chant that we've learned about bringing group coherence into all of us.
It's like a greeting. We learned it. It's as a greeting of like how the Lemurians would greet each other to get in harmony with the being in front of them, because they lived in a much more unified way and a much more respect other beings kind of way. So it's something, that you can do to just sync up. And it's beautiful the way that your voices all turn into one sound. That's my favorite part about it, is
the harmonizing.
You realize that like we're all coming from the same sound, and it's super beautiful.
Yeah, and the last thing I'll say is, you know, a lot of parents ask us, and you know, they say like, how will I get my kids to start doing something like this? And what we found, we just do it. We do it, and then they end up being intrigued themselves. So it's like whatever you demonstrate is what you're gonna get. And if you need to change that neural pathway for them as well, you know, everybody's programmable, and we can program things for good, for the instant dopamine rush and cravings, you know, through TVs, through phones, or we can do something totally opposite. And that's what we try to do as parents.
Yeah, I mean, kids, they naturally are good learners. You don't have to teach them anything. You just have to do it yourself, and they want to learn about the world around them. So, and the best thing you can do is just to start to include them. You know, same goes with healthy cooking. Same goes with daily movement. Like, you know, you can go do yoga by yourself, but then when you invite your child to come and you start teaching things, they get curious and they want to do what you're doing. So
Yeah, but make sure you always tell them why. Because most parents, when they say, you know, stop talking or don't do this or don't do that, it's basically just putting a lock on their potential and it's shutting their language down. So make sure you always explain why we meditate, why we do this, what's the purpose, what's the intent. So they also learn how to do it and why they should do it for themselves. I know our kids, like, they learn how to call their energy back, send their energy back. They now do it organically. As you know, they, let's say, have an emotional like charge by a student in their school, they literally start working with the energy that we taught them, which is so like, wow, you know, they're 8, 11, and this little one.
So when you have like a little one like her, you can't teach her how to call her energy back yet, because I'm not sure she's like fully cognitive there, but you can do it for them. You can, at the end of the day, when you're doing that practice for yourself, you just also do it for your little one if they're a little bit dependent still, in the sense that they don't know what they're doing yet, and then that way their energy is also cleared.
You know, something I find really interesting when we take kids on a hike is, at first nobody really wants to go and everybody's like, no, not hiking, and no. And basically what happens is everybody's brainwaves start shifting and changing. And I truly think we go more into that alpha state where we're no longer in that overly analyzing beta. And it happens with just walking, stillness, solitude. And those are some of the measurable benefits of being in nature in general. And that's why we are constantly stressed. But the minute that we get into that restful state, everything turns off. And yeah, sometimes it takes a little bit to do that. Wow, guys, we made it. We found the water.
Okay, so something that we like to teach during our system resets is called water coding, but it's not just something that you can do with your body. It's something that you can do with any body of water. So obviously we're made of water, so this is why you can do it with your bodies. You can do it with food that you're eating, but something that's really positive for the earth. So water holds memory, and there's this guy called Dr. Emoto, and he is a Japanese scientist who studied water, and he's really, really well known for his study on water holding memory. So one of the studies that he did is he spoke to a different petri dishes, and to one he said, like, I love you, I love you, I love you, water, you're so beautiful, so kind, so caring. And then he also spoke to another petri dish of water, and he said, you're so ugly, I hate how you do things, you look awful, like just said like really like mean things to this water. And then he froze the water, and then one that he spoke like kind, beautiful words to, that one froze in beautiful symmetrical shapes, and it just looked lovely. And then when he froze the one that he said the bad things to, it was all fragmented and looked really jagged and really just like discombobulated. And so he continued to do a bunch of other studies on water, and through these studies he found that water holds consciousness, and water has been with us for thousands and thousands of years. It literally holds the codes to the universe. And so not only is it important to always be speaking kind words to yourself and to your body and your thoughts, but also it's a beautiful way to help the earth regenerate when you speak to the water and recode the water. So we're gonna show you what we do. You can do this when you're in pools, you can do this when you're in nature, you can do this, I mean, pretty much anywhere. Just having that like flowing conversation, one with the universe, is like a really nice synchronistic place to be.
Water carries information, and in our world we have been living in disinformation. And so what we like to do, everything works in feedback. Everything is made up of atoms, and so more we give this focused energy, whatever it's to earth, to our food, more we can start expanding this, what we call the Earth 2.0. So here's what we're gonna do. Come bringing both of your hands down into the water, and then connecting to your heart. And then close your eyes and just imagine that you inhale in through your heart, and this swirling green color generates inside your heart. And then exhale, you send it out your palms of your hands. And just repeat. Inhale, generate love. You can even say I on inhale. Exhale, love. So whatever the water pours from here on, it can bring this love. It doesn't take long. Just start being the beautiful beacon of love.
So chanting or humming is also so positive for your nervous system because it's one of the only things that can instantly get you to separate your mind from your nervous system and get you into the present, into the body. Highly recommend starting your morning out like this, or if you're using it in a situation where you're disharmonized, everybody's kind of all over the place, it's so good for bringing you back to the present moment.
And physiologically, it increases your nitric oxide, and on top of everything, instantly stimulates parasympathetic nervous system, which is what we lack, that rest and digest. So everybody now happy, healthy, and good. You know, it's actually quite hard for us to film something like this because we're so immersed in life with the way we live. But, you know, 99% of the world, I think, has this perception of what life should be about, you know, because of movies and because of our media. And, you know, there's this saying that 95% of the world is actually incredible, and then 5% of the world is what needs help and where we need to come together to heal the earth, to heal our relationships. And what we do in our life, we feel this deep urge, this deep calling to inspire others that it's safe to feel fear. It's safe to be confused and not know. It is not okay to be led by fear anymore. And whatever it's with kids, whatever it's in our life, we make love a primary source of decisions. Boy, it's hard. It's not always easy because we all come with so many different preconstructions of how we should raise kids and live. But what we've learned is we flow. We allow the nature of life to simply inspire us, and whatever unfolds from that, that's perfect, and we trust.